When Anne, Princess Royal, truly relaxes, this is where she does it. Not in gilded palaces or tourist-filled castles, but behind the discreet stone walls of a Georgian country house planted in 700 acres of Cotswold countryside. You see, this stately manor operates by entirely different rules than other royal residences, functioning as genuine working farmland where rare breed livestock graze, Olympic-level horses train, and 3 generations of a royal family pursue country life without ceremony or pretension. And a glimpse through Zoom calls during the pandemic revealed interiors devoid of throne room grandeur, instead showing comfortable rooms with family photographs, modest watercolors, and the accumulated mementos of a life spent outdoors rather than on parade. The surrounding landscape speaks volumes about priorities: paddocks rather than formal gardens, functional outbuildings instead of ornamental follies, and the practical infrastructure required by serious equestrians and farmers. For over 4 decades, this Bathstone house has provided what Buckingham Palace never could: normalcy, privacy, and the space to pursue genuine passions rather than merely fulfill royal obligations. Thus, in today's episode of Old Money Mansions, we explore the country estate that serves as headquarters for Britain's most industrious royal, a place where crown and countryside have formed a perfect union. Between the villages of Minchinhampton and Avening in Gloucestershire's countryside stands Gatcombe Park, a Georgian country house that serves as the private residence of Anne, Princess Royal, a practical home befitting Britain's hardest-working royal family member. This Grade 2 star listed country house, constructed from Bath stone, presents an elegant yet understated facade that reflects its owner's preference for practicality over pomp, a refreshing departure from more ornate royal residences. The main residence boasts 5 principal bedrooms, 4 secondary bedrooms, 4 reception rooms, a library, a billiard room, and a conservatory. Substantial without being excessive, much like the Princess Royal's approach to her official duties. While few are ever privileged to see inside, the interiors are reportedly traditional and comfortable, maintaining the house's historic character while serving as a functional family home rather than a museum piece. A rare glimpse afforded through Princess Anne's Zoom calls during the pandemic revealed rooms with family photographs, countryside watercolors, and animal figurines, suggesting a preference for personal mementos over designer showpieces. The estate spans approximately 730 acres of Cotswold landscape, encompassing parkland, working farmland, and woodland that provides essential privacy. A small lake stocked with brown trout offers fishing opportunities, while extensive stabling facilities accommodate the Princess Royal's horses. Unlike the grand formal gardens of more showy royal residences, Gatcombe's grounds prioritize function, with paddocks and gallops taking precedence over ornamental features, though a 200-metre terrace provides a dignified outlook from the house. Just 6 miles away lies Highgrove House, the country residence of Anne's brother, King Charles III, creating a convenient royal cluster in this picturesque corner of Gloucestershire. The property includes a Grade 2 listed coach house converted for modern use while maintaining its historic character. Aston Farm, an additional property on the eastern side of the estate acquired in 1978, provides accommodation for Anne's daughter, Zara Tyndall, and her family, creating a multi-generational compound that offers both proximity and privacy. For those hoping to catch a glimpse of this private abode, opportunities are limited. Unlike Windsor Castle or Buckingham Palace, Gatcombe remains steadfastly private, opening to the public only for occasional equestrian events. The surrounding area epitomizes English countryside charm, with the Cotswold Way passing nearby, offering hikers panoramic views of the estate's landscape. Minchinhampton Common, a 5-minute drive away, provides 700 acres of open grassland, where ancient grazing rights allow cattle to wander freely during summer months. The neighbouring village of Avening offers the Crown Inn, a quintessential country pub where locals maintain the traditional rural discretion that allows Princess Anne the rare luxury of ordinary life beyond Gatcombe's boundaries. While today's Gatcombe represents Princess Anne's practical vision of a working country estate, the house itself holds centuries of stories within its Bath stone walls, architectural chapters written long before any royal moved in. Long before Princess Anne took ownership, Gatcombe Park had established itself as a substantial country property with an impressive lineage of owners, each leaving their mark on this distinguished Gloucestershire estate. The estate's foundations lie in the ancient manors of Minchinhampton and Avening, which, after the dissolution of the monasteries, found themselves in the possession of Lord Windsor. By 1656, the land had been purchased by Philip Shepherd, beginning a family association that would eventually lead to the construction of the original house, when Samuel Shepherd left the core hillside land to his brother Edward in his will of 1770. Edward Shepherd, a successful clothier who had done well from the region's thriving textile industry, commissioned the construction of a new house between 1771 and 1774. While the original architect is not definitively recorded, it was likely Francis Franklin of Chalford who oversaw the building's creation in the fashionable Georgian style of the period, characterized by symmetrical facades, sash windows, and classical proportions. The house received a significant upgrade when purchased in 1814 by David Ricardo, a speculator and theoretical economist whose financial success validated his economic theories. Ricardo engaged George Bassevi, a relation and prominent architect who would later design the Fitzwilliam Museum in Cambridge, to substantially remodel and enhance the house around 1820, adding refinements that transformed an excellent country house into a distinguished one. This renovation introduced the conservatory and created the essential structure of the house we see today, with Bassevi establishing Gatcombe as a quintessential example of late Georgian country house design. Elegant without being showy, substantial without being oppressive. The property remained in the Ricardo family for more than a century before being acquired in 1940 by Samuel Courtauld, the art collector whose textile fortune ironically echoed the original owner's source of wealth. After Courtauld's tenure, the estate passed to his son-in-law, Lord Butler of Saffron Walden, the former Home Secretary and Master of Trinity College, Cambridge. The royal chapter of Gatcombe's history began in 1976, when Queen Elizabeth II purchased the property for her daughter, Princess Anne, and her then-husband, Captain Mark Phillips. The exact price was never officially disclosed, but is believed to have been between £500,000 and £750,000, equivalent to approximately £6,800,000 in today's money. The Crown funded comprehensive renovation and redecoration of the house before the royal couple moved in during November 1977, ensuring the property met the standards required for a princess. In 1978, the estate was enlarged by the purchase of Aston Farm to the east, expanding the property to approximately 730 acres and providing valuable additional agricultural and equestrian facilities. The property's architectural significance is reflected in its Grade 2 star listing, placing it in the top 8% of listed buildings in England and recognizing its special historic and architectural interest. Throughout its history, Gatcombe has maintained its essential character as a substantial but not ostentatious country house, reflecting the values of its successive owners who sought rural comfort and status without the maintenance headaches of a full-blown stately home. What makes Gatcombe architecturally significant is its perfect embodiment of English Georgian restraint, the architectural equivalent of a well-tailored navy suit that never goes out of fashion despite changing sartorial whims. This carefully preserved historic estate would enter an entirely new chapter in 1976, when Queen Elizabeth II acquired it as a home for her daughter, transitioning Gatcombe from private country house to functional royal residence without sacrificing its essential character. When Princess Anne and Captain Mark Phillips took up residence at Gatcombe Park in November 1977, they brought with them a shared enthusiasm for horses that would influence the estate's development for decades to come. The couple's status as Olympic-level riders, Anne having competed in the 1976 Montreal Games and Phillips winning gold at Munich 4 years earlier, meant that the extensive stabling and surrounding countryside weren't merely decorative features, but essential infrastructure for their sporting ambitions. Their children, Peter and Zara Phillips, grew up with the rare privilege of 700 acres as their playground. A childhood vastly different from the confines of traditional royal residences. The estate's expansion in 1978 with the purchase of Aston Farm demonstrated the family's commitment to rural life and provided additional space for their growing equestrian operations. While never a public royal residence like Windsor or Sandringham, Gatcombe gradually emerged as a centre for equestrian excellence, with the inaugural Gatcombe horse trials established in the early 1980s. These trials evolved into the Festival of British Eventing, an annual highlight of the equestrian calendar that attracted the world's top riders, more than 40,000 spectators, and BBC television coverage. The domestic arrangements at Gatcombe took an unexpected turn in 1989 when Princess Anne and Mark Phillips separated after 15 years of marriage, creating the awkward situation of dividing a royal estate that had been a wedding present. Following their divorce in 1992, the Princess Royal remained at the main house while Phillips initially lived at Aston Farm with his second wife, a proximity that speaks to remarkably civilized post-marital relations. Princess Anne's second marriage to Commander, now Vice Admiral, Timothy Lawrence in December 1992 brought a new resident to Gatcombe, though one considerably less interested in horses than the previous master of the house. Throughout these personal transitions, the princess maintained Gatcombe as a working estate rather than merely a royal residence, her practical approach to country living reflecting an unsentimental attitude toward property ownership that prioritized sustainability. Both Peter and Zara Phillips enjoyed cottages on the estate until their respective marriages, allowing the young royals to maintain their privacy while remaining within the protective embrace of the family compound, an arrangement that balanced independence with security concerns. Zara's emergence as an accomplished equestrian in her own right, culminating in a silver medal at the 2012 London Olympics, ensured that Gatcombe stables remained central to the family's identity, with the estate providing essential training facilities for a second generation of royal riders. After their marriage in 2011, Zara and her husband, former England rugby player Mike Tindall, initially lived in Cheltenham but sold their house in January 2013 to move to the Gatcombe estate. Peter Phillips, meanwhile, maintained his connection to the estate even after his marriage to Autumn Kelly, with the couple raising their daughters Savannah and Isla with regular access to Gatcombe before their separation in 2019, providing the next generation with the same country upbringing their father had enjoyed. The estate's highest public profile came during the 21st century when the Festival of British Eventing attracted elite competitors and thousands of spectators annually, the event becoming a fixture of the British sporting calendar and a significant if limited opportunity for the public to experience parts of this otherwise private estate. The 2023 cancellation of this long-running festival marked the beginning of a new phase for Gatcombe Park, emphasising its primary functions as private residence and productive agricultural property. A shift reflecting the evolving priorities and economic realities of maintaining a substantial country estate in challenging times. Today, Gatcombe Park functions as a genuine working property that balances its roles as family home, farm, and occasional event venue, reflecting Princess Anne's own statement that, being able to take on a place like this, for me, I've got to make it work. This is not something that comes free. The estate operates as a working farm with rare breeds of livestock including Gloucestershire Old Spot pigs, White Park cattle, Wiltshire horn sheep, and various poultry, combining agricultural production with conservation of traditional British breeds. The Princess Royal's commitment to agricultural sustainability extends to organic farming practices and the preservation of native breeds, combining historical conservation with modern environmental awareness. Horse-related activities remain important at Gatcombe, though the Festival of British Eventing was cancelled in 2023 after nearly 4 decades, a decision driven by increasing costs and logistical challenges despite the event's popularity and prestige. Smaller horse trials in spring and autumn continue to take place on the estate, with courses designed by Princess Anne herself. The estate's biannual craft fairs, featuring around 160 exhibitors in May and October, offer rare opportunities for the public to glimpse parts of Gatcombe. Gatcombe's function as a family compound has intensified in recent years, with Zara and Mike Tyndall raising their 3 children, Mia, Lena and Lucas, on the estate, creating a decidedly unstuffy royal upbringing characterized by muddy boots, ponies and the unique experience of having a grandmother who appears on postage stamps. The Tyndalls have embraced country living with enthusiasm, with former rugby international Mike adjusting to life as a gentleman farmer with the same robust approach he once brought to the rugby pitch. Peter Phillips also maintains a presence at Gatcombe, continuing the estate's tradition as a multi-generational family centre, creating one of Britain's most exclusive co-parenting arrangements following his separation from Autumn Phillips, with grandchildren Savannah and Isla enjoying consistent access to both their royal heritage and substantial outdoor space. Security at Gatcombe remains appropriately discreet, without the ceremonial guards and visible measures that characterize more famous royal residences, yet substantial enough to ensure privacy and safety for a princess who ranks consistently high on the list of hardest-working royals. Maintenance of the Grade 2. Star-listed main house and its outbuildings presents ongoing challenges, requiring the balance of historic preservation with modern functionality, a task that Princess Anne approaches with characteristic efficiency, prioritizing structural integrity over decorative flourishes. Environmental considerations have become increasingly central to Gatcombe's management, with woodland conservation, water management, and energy efficiency measures implemented across the estate, reflecting both contemporary environmental awareness and the practical reality that sustainable practices often align with economic efficiency. Unlike some royal residences that function primarily as tourist attractions or ceremonial backdrops, Gatcombe remains fundamentally private, opening to the public only for specific events rather than regular tours, preserving its character as a genuine home rather than a heritage experience with royal connections. The estate's livestock operations contribute to its economic sustainability while advancing conservation of rare breeds, with Princess Anne taking a hands-on approach that occasionally results in the surreal tabloid headline about a princess being injured by her own livestock. Gatcombe's position within the larger Cotswold landscape exemplifies thoughtful integration of heritage, agriculture and conservation, maintaining historic field patterns and woodland while adapting farming practices to contemporary environmental understanding. For royal observers, Gatcombe provides insights into Princess Anne's character, its working farm, practical facilities, and absence of ostentation, perfectly embodying her reputation as the no-nonsense royal who prioritizes duty over glamour and substance over ceremony. With that said, we'd like to see you in the comments. What is your favorite part of this lovely home? We look forward to hearing from you below, and thanks for watching another episode of Old Money Mansions. We'll see you on the next one.